Lawyer for Russian whistleblower calls out IOC for lack of protection. The lawyer for Russian whistleblower Grigory Rodchenkov has called out the International Olympic Committee for not taking action against the country as it attempts to retaliate against his client. Jim Walden, the U.S.-based attorney who represents Rodchenkov, released a statement on Tuesday calling on the IOC to intervene, saying he would have to consider how much longer the former Moscow lab director would cooperate with the IOC in light of safety concerns. Rodchenkov organized the Russian system of doping before fleeing to the U.S. and providing evidence of it to the World Anti-Doping Agency and Canadian lawyer Richard McLaren, who led a WADA-commissioned investigation. Rodchenkov's testimony and affidavits have been critical evidence in cases brought by the IOC Commission led by Denis Oswald, which has disqualified 43 Russian athletes from the Sochi Olympics and stripped 13 medals. More medals are nice, but sometimes not enough for athletes seeking sponsors. More, the word Russia to appear on Olympic uniforms. Although he is a courageous man and fully committed to cooperation, as his lawyer I have to consider whether he should continue to compromise his own safety in order to provide evidence to the IOC, Walden said in a statement. One thing is certain, if the IOC's inaction is what whistleblowers can expect, no whistleblower should ever again come forward with information about fraud in the Olympics. Had I known of the IOC's cowardice, I might have urged a different path. Walden said WADA recently issued a third warning to the Russians to leave Dr. Rodchenkov alone. WADA spokeswoman Maggie Duran confirmed that the agency sent letters to Russian authorities. In a statement, the IOC said it coordinated with WADA, who it said wrote to the Russian sports minister, Russian Olympic Committee and the IOC to assert that Rodchenkov deserved protection as a whistleblower. The IOC categorically denies Mr. Walden's claim that the IOC has taken no action and the ridiculous assertion that we would like it if Mr. Rodchenkov were not to be available, the statement continued. The IOC also wants to make clear that it is not in its powers to protect witnesses nor to comment on judiciary acts or protection, be it in the United States or Russia. Russian officials have consistently attempted to undermine Rodchenkov and to discredit his testimony. He faces criminal charges of abuse of official powers leading to grave consequences, according to the Associated Press. And an investigative committee looking into Russian doping seeks his extradition, though the United States does not have an extradition treaty with Russia. Rodchenkov, who is in witness protection in the United States, has said he fears for his life should he return to Russia and points to the suspicious deaths of 2 anti-doping officials last year. Earlier this month, RT reported that Rodchenkov faces additional drug trafficking charges. President Vladimir Putin this month accused U.S. agencies of manipulating the evidence from Rodchenkov. That Rodchenkov is in the United States is not a positive for us, it's a negative, Putin said, according to the app. It means he's under the control of American special services. What are they doing with him there? Are they giving him some kind of substances so that he says what's required? In his statement, Walden said, "This would be comical if the stakes were not so high." Walden said the Russian government is lobbying the U.S. government to extradite Rodchenkov to Russia, where he would face death and torture at their hands. The system Rodchenkov ran was detailed in McLaren's investigation last year, which revealed that Russia subverted the anti-doping system during the Sochi Olympics by swapping out urine samples through a hole in the wall. McLaren's report showed more than 1,000 Russian athletes were involved in a system that worked to dope athletes and cover up their positive tests. Rodchenkov has said he ran the system at the direction of the sports ministry. Former sports minister Vitaly Mutko, who is now the deputy prime minister, has been banned for life by the IOC. Earlier this month, the IOC suspended the Russian Olympic Committee and created a path for individuals to compete as Olympic athletes from Russia in the Pyeongchang Games in February. Should Russia meet the criteria of the suspension, its flag could be flown at the closing ceremony. The individual cases are ongoing as more than 24 Russian athletes have appealed the Oswald Commission sanctions to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. All of the sanctions issued by the Commission include a lifetime Olympic ban, which faces challenges as it defies prior decisions issued by CAS. The Oswald Commission accepts McLaren's findings and found Rodchenkov to be a truthful witness. McLaren's investigation and the Oswald Commission found Rodchenkov's testimony to be corroborated by other evidence. Obviously, Russia would like to silence Dr. Rodchenkov and make his testimony in these cases impossible, Walden said. Russia's actions in retaliating against Dr. Rodchenkov are merely a further symptom of its refusal to accept the unanimous findings about Russia's state-sponsored doping system. Walden said WADA recently issued a third warning to the Russians to leave Dr. Rodchenkov alone. A WADA spokeswoman did not immediately respond to an email Tuesday to confirm that. Walden called on the IOC to act, saying it could fully ban any Russian athletes from competing, stop them from marching in the closing ceremony or ban them from future games. In response to his request that the IOC require Russia to cease retaliating against Rodchenkov, Walden said he was told the IOC would take no action. Walden said, "Unfortunately, the IOC, who relied so prominently on Dr. Rodchenkov's testimony in banning Russia from the Olympics, refuses to lift a finger to help him."